Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Chris Chevier here from Midwest Emoto, and today I'm going to replace a rear shock. As you can see here, we got a blown out KKE rear shock. We went with the RFloXa, however you pronounce that, where recoil meets luxury. This is the 53 version, so the more expensive one. It comes with a 550-pound spring in there, so should be excellent for hitting jumps and whatnot. But let's open this thing up and see what's inside. So inside we got a owner's manual. It does have English in it, so that's good. This looks to be like a inspection report, confirmed working shock, so that's pretty cool. Quality assurance there. And boom, inside we got the shock itself. I gotta say, first glances, it definitely looks quality. Definitely looks high end. But I just upgraded my KKE on this bike from a 450-pound spring to a 650-pound spring, and it's way beefier. Honestly, it's so stiff that I start to get arm pump and my wrists really start to hurt. So I may downgrade this 650 down to a 550 just for this bike, because it's a street bike. I'm not really hitting too many jumps on it. If you're around 150 to 180 pounds, I think 550 is plenty. But yeah, we got high speed, low speed compression, and your rebound down here, just like kind of pretty much the same as a KKE or Fast Ace. So as far as tools go that you're going to need a rubber mallet or a hammer. You're going to need a socket, 13 millimeter, and then you're going to want an extension probably just to make it easier to put on the other side here. I have a rear mudguard right here, so I'm going to have to take that off so that way I can drop the back wheel down to get the shock out. So we got to undo that screw and this screw if you have a Mudflap. That size is an 8 millimeter. Probably need a flathead because you're going to need to tighten down the little adjuster knob up here. You're going to need an Allen key to remove your rear caliper. So take your rear caliper off before we do anything here. And while the rear caliper is off, be sure not to squeeze your brake lever, because if you squeeze your brake lever, your pistons are going to squeeze in and your pads will be too close together and you won't be able to put your caliper back on your rotor. So be careful of that. Take our caliper off and just set it to the side. If you don't have a Mudflap, you may be able to get by just sliding your brake cable up. The easiest way to do this is to start with your top linkage, your triangle here. So release the triangle bolt, and then after that you want to release the middle bolt, and then the bottom one will come off once you remove the entire shock off the bike. You got your 6 millimeter Allen key and a socket wrench with a 13 millimeter socket on there. We're just going to tighten the Allen key up snug, and then we're going to break it free using the socket wrench. Alright, so we've removed the nut from each side of these two linkage bolts, and the top one you can just take with your rubber mallet and pop it right out and it'll come right through. But the middle one, you'll have to hit it a couple times and then you have to unscrew it using your Allen key because it's actually screwed in here. You take your 6 millimeter Allen key from the side, grab your rear wheel and lift up on it so that way the tension is off of your linkage. And you should just be able to screw that bolt right out. Like so. And then the top one should also just pop right out. Okay, so now the only thing holding the rear shock in right now is pressure from the bike itself. So I should be able to lift up on the rear wheel. Boom. And now the linkage should be free. Okay, I've broken it free. Rear shock will just slide right through your triangle and you should be able to get it out no problem. and I see all this dirt, I'm just going to take a rag and get all the sand and dirt and debris out of here. And then all we need to do now is disconnect this bottom screw and bolt that's holding that in. Grab our Allen key again, socket, and remember your orientation. So this bottom piece, just like that. Alright, so now we got our rear linkage off, and I'm feeling my bearings that are in there, and they're still moving pretty good, but it does look a little dry. So we got our Maxima waterproof grease. We'll just lube it up pretty nice. Shove some in on both sides. Push the little spacer out, get some on the spacer. That way it'll pack them bearings full of it. Shove that spacer back and forth. Get the outsides pretty good. I'll take a paper towel and just wipe off any excess grease now. Like so. Now we got nice lubed up bearings. And you're also going to want to throw a little bit of bearing lube right on these, right here on the new shock. So I'm just going to try and pack it around the edges. There's a little groove between the plastic here and the metal. And then you want to take your linkage, take the U-shape, and you're going to put it in just like that. So rebound facing outward away from the linkage, and we'll secure that bolt in. So now your shock should sit like that. Front wheel over here, rear wheel over here, bolt on this side. So we'll tighten this up as tight as we can get it. I found the best way is to grab your shock like this. And then these don't need to be crazy tight. You don't want to over tighten it because then your shock may not have enough play. Alright, so now we're ready to install this on the bike. The easiest way I found is to first do your top bolt, and then after that go for your middle linkage bolt, and then lastly tighten your top bolt. Stock KKE here next to the RFloXa. So as you can see, the spring is definitely bigger. So this was a 450 spring. This is now a 550 spring. Whatever you would call that. This tube is definitely thicker. So definitely more oil going in and out of this one compared to the KKE. But yeah, you can definitely tell this one's a beefier shock. Definitely more high quality, it looks like. So let's get it installed on the bike. Alright, so I originally had the air chamber on the same side as the preload, but that's actually wrong. We got to flip it around. So you can just twist it. And you want your air chamber to be on your linkage side with the preload facing outward is actually how it goes. And then pull your linkage out like that. And then we can slide the linkage through the triangle. Bend the linkage up as you're sliding it down through. Push it off to the side. And boom. There we go. And now that will slide right in. And now we have it through the triangle. So now we'll secure our top screw here. Tighten the nut up a little bit. It doesn't have to be fully tightened yet. So remember, this middle one screws in. So make sure you're screwing it in and not just trying to hammer it through. I'm going to lift this up until we can slide it right through the linkage. Like so. Make sure you got your spacer still from earlier. Put the spacer behind the nut and screw the last nut on. And now we're good to go. Now all we have to do is tighten those up. But yeah, once you get your spring nice and tightened up, you should be all set. You now have a new rear shock installed on your Surron. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.